Hey peeps, what's up? It's Susan Stevens from Liberated Living, founder of the Breakdown to Breakthrough 90 Days to Overcome Emotional Pain, Burnout, and Manifestation. I wanted to chat with you today a little bit about the coronavirus and what's coming up in people's psyches and emotional states because of the distancing and social isolating that obviously we're supposed to do. And I've just seen this in the last 3 clients I've had, and I have to share. So, oftentimes in our culture, I feel like we use a lot of things, activities, busyness to keep our emotions down, to almost sometimes to deny what's truly underneath, you know. And in our life, we can have addictions, we can have habits, addictions that are truly, say, more negative, like, you know, drinking wine, drinking coffee, drinking coffee, that have maybe more of a negative consequence that we see, we notice. Yeah, that's a habit that has consequences that aren't healthy for me. But then sometimes there are habits that are, or addictions that are more positive, and but there's still addictions. There's still a way for us to numb out our feelings. And one of these things is socializing. Oftentimes when we feel lonely, when we feel sad, we hang out with people and we surround ourselves with people and we get love from people. But when we don't have that ability to interact, all these feelings come and percolate, rise up. And that we have been pushing down for so many years. And the same thing with, a lot of times people can use meditation or spirituality, or a lot of these things. I call this spiritual bypassing. And it's where you use some of these addictive or these modalities, even if they're healthy, like running, but you use them to truly not feel what's really going on in the body. And I'm going to share a story with you, and it reminds me so much, because what's happening, I'm getting so many clients that they're saying, oh my God, I feel so alone. I feel, isolated. I feel sad because I can't give love to people or connect to people. And it reminded me of a silent retreat. And I compare what we're going through to a silent retreat. Except instead of 10 days, it could be like 2 months. So when I went to this silent retreat years ago with my mom, I remember, we couldn't do anything at the silent retreat. You can't numb out, you can't drink alcohol, you can't go for a run, you can't talk to people, you can't use sugar or any of these things to suppress your emotions. And as a result, I remember my mom and I, halfway through the retreat, we looked at each other, and we both at the same time were like, this is joyless. Like, this is brutal. This is awful. We had so much emotion coming up that we escaped off the property, and we started talking up a storm. We're like, oh my God, are you sure you want to do this like a couple more days? Like, do we really want to go through with it? And halfway through our walk, we started to think, like, maybe there's something we're really just not getting here. Like, maybe we need to not run. Maybe we need to not sit by the door. And there's a quote by Pema Chodron, and I just love it. And it says, It's called Never Underestimate Your Inclination to Bolt. Never underestimate your inclination to bolt. Because that is when you're about to break through. That is when the emotions come up and your tendency is want to numb out, deny, avoid. That is where you need to go. So my mom and I, we went back into this retreat, and I sat down, and you could talk to the teacher for like a certain amount of day. And I told her, I said, I can't give love to anybody. And she says, how do you feel when you can't give love to anyone or get love? And I said, so sad. It was like a sadness I had never known. I had quit drinking for 3 years, but I had used spirituality to suppress all my emotions still. And it was the first time it started to come up. And she just looked at me and she said, can you just be with that sadness? And I went into a 3-month depression. Because it was like the floodgates had opened, and I had used, my whole entire life was designed to just avoid. And yeah, and I remember even after my mom called me, I thought I was going to have to go on pharmaceuticals, and my mom called me, and I think I had a video with this, but this is the one where she said to me, Susan, she called at 5 a.m. She's like, I figured it out, because I was losing my mind. She's like, abandon hope. She goes, stop trying to run away from these emotions. Stop trying to run away. And I just let them come. I let them wash over me. I just started to invite them in. And I cried that night. I cried for the loneliness of the world, for the suffering of the world. It was so intense. It was for the suffering I had experienced in everyone else in my life. And when it washed over, when it melted away, it was like I was 1,000,000 times lighter. And it never had that same charge again. It came up, but I would invite it instead of resist it. So I'm just, in this time, I just want to ask you, for all you guys, I want to hear, what have you used in your life? Comment below. What have you used to numb out? Are you experiencing loneliness because of this social isolation? Tell me about it. I want to hear. And the more everyone shares, the more it eliminates the shame around sharing. So tell me, what have you used? Have you used busyness? Have you used all these things? What is this coronavirus bringing up for you? Are you feeling that loneliness? Have you used social interaction to deny or numb out? Love to know. For anyone that needs help going through this time, because these emotions, when you go into it, they can be consuming. And that's why your body hasn't let you deal with it, because it feels like it's going to destroy you or annihilate you. And this is the kind of shit, this is the stuff, the juicy stuff that we talk about in the Breakdown to Breakthrough program. Because it's good to learn how to go through this, to be supported, to learn how to go through this process with someone, so you don't have to make all the mistakes I did and take a decade, So book in for your breakthrough call. I would love to help you navigate through this dark time. And yes, just, if you want a different life, you have to engage in different behaviors. You have to think different thoughts. You have to do something different. If you do the same thing, it's like that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. What are you going to do different today? Big love. Peace.